Cool. So, hi guys, my name is Ejaz Hussain. I'm a recently Microsoft MVP and developer architect. Work at a company called Advania UK. So today I'm presenting a session on Microsoft Graph Connectors and how can we, bridge the gap between your Microsoft 365 ecosystem and with your external data using the Microsoft Graph Connectors. So what we're going to look today quickly, we're going to see what the Microsoft Graph Connectors are, benefits, things to keep in mind when building custom Microsoft Graph Connectors. Then we're going to look into the actual building the custom Microsoft Graph Connector with the Microsoft Learn Catalog API. Then we talk about the integration with the Copilot, which is quite naturally, but we'll talk about briefly, and then we'll do a look at the demo as well. So let's jump in. So Microsoft Graph Connectors, basically, it's literally connecting the dots. So basically, you can see on the right-hand side, you might have different data sources across your organization. And at the moment, they're not in the Microsoft 365 ecosystem. And how you want to bring this into the Microsoft 365 ecosystem and make and get the benefit of the enrich Microsoft intelligent Microsoft Search and the Microsoft Graph. So the one way of doing it is to use the Microsoft Graph Connector. So it lets you bring that your external data from the content from the external data sources in Microsoft Search, and then the Microsoft Copilot comes into play as well. So this is what is all about Microsoft Graph Connectors. Let you bring external data into Microsoft Search. Now the benefits are, yes, you'll be able to make use of intelligent Microsoft Search. You'll be able to search your external data right from your Microsoft 365 platform. It's in the preview at the moment, so I'm not sure where we are. The last time I checked, you will be able to have your context IQ in the Outlook as well. When you're writing the email or something, you want some data to inject while you're writing the email. You can reference your data, which technically is your external data. If it's available is available in Office 365, you can reference that. You can call that. It will be available. Copilot will naturally go and can look for that data if it's available in Microsoft 365 platform. The Copilot naturally can go and grab and reason and search that data for you. And the main benefit is basically automation, streamlining the workflow. So for example, you have you're searching for your latest invoice and what are the pending invoice, one is active invoice. So that data previously in the past used to be an external system. Now in Office 365, Microsoft 365, you can either you can access via Teams or from from the search. You can query that data. You can, if it's in the Teams and through the Copilot, then you can build some external plugin to add more action and on that data as well. So yes, so it's basically help you to streamline your workflows and processes. Things to keep in mind when building the custom connectors, there are some limitation. When there are 30 connections you can build. There's an item level limits. There's 5 million items you can have per connection. Then there's a total tenant item 50 million. So yeah, it's good to be kind of exploring those options, but good to have keep some limitation in mind. There is a data limitation as well, how big the one item could be, and then the batching size, and then also things consideration like licensing, quota, and throttling, etc. as well. So so there is always things to keep in mind when you are building custom connectors. Right, so now there are 100 of out of the box available connectors out there. So check on this link, which you can make use, like for example, IO services, box services, now Salesforce, and there's 100 plus connectors out there, and they're out of the box. You can just configure those and start using those. You don't have to kind of think about building any code, write any code for those, and also build any indexing schedule, indexing mechanism behind the scene, like a full crawl, increment crawl. So everything is done behind the scene for you. So, but there will be some scenario where those connectors does not meet your business needs. So you will have some scenario where you want to support some data which is purely for your company data or your system, and there's no connector available. This is where the custom connectors comes into play. You can build custom connector to build your own custom system into the Microsoft 365 ecosystem. So now when we talk about the building the Microsoft Graph connector, so there are actually three things in there. So we create external connection. So with an external connection, we define the connection, we define the schema, what type of properties, what type of data you wanted to bring in, and then you define the external item. So each item, that is typically, you could say a record. So each record will have some properties, actual content you want to ingest into Microsoft 365, ACL, or the permission, what kind of permission you wanted to implement on each item. This is really cool. Like you can define the permission in ACLs, like it should be accessed by everyone or certain group of people. You can add your AD groups there as well. So it depends how you want to expose the external system. Might be certain audience, or might be the whole organization can see this, and then some activities as well. So yeah, so this is some key components. So then external, we connect to the external content, bring in create a structure like a property, define content, ACL and activities, and then and that's become our item. And then this is what we ingest. So if you go and look like a building all together, what's that look like? So we have a Microsoft Graph, we have a registered your AD app connector code, and then external content. So we grab the data, we have got authentication from the Microsoft Graph, and then we convert the external data into like a in a form that we can ingest, that like defining all the properties, metadata, ACL, etc., and permissioning, and then create a connection and ingest into Microsoft 365. So today the custom connector we're going to build, the demo I built is on the Microsoft Learn Catalog API. Now, if you have not explored before, is a publicly available API. It's a REST-based and provides you information about the modules, Microsoft Learn modules, units, certification, learning paths, courses, exams, and it sends you back JSON and encoded response. So this is the endpoint, so you can go ahead and play around. This one is the same. Is publicly available, so you don't have any key or whatsoever. So it's good API to play around for your demo purposes. So what we're doing today is, in terms of the demo, is that we have I have created a Microsoft Graph connector to bring the data from the Microsoft Catalog API. But I've also ingested into Microsoft 365. But I also added one more option to where I wanted to control that, like a switching in, switching off the connector from the Microsoft 365 Teams admin. So you can, I can show you in a minute. So you can toggle. You turn on the toggle, it will go ahead and create a connection for you, ingest the data. And if you don't want to, if you want to delete that connector, and you don't want to have that to be available to your organization, you can simply switch off Microsoft 365 admin Teams, and it will remove the connection, remove the data, and you can control from that side as well. So I'll show you in a bit. So the main features of this one is integration with Microsoft Teams Admin Center, which I've seen a full crawl. And then on-demand ingestion of data, and some of the adaptive card I've used to show what kind of the UI you can build based on what you require. So let's look at the demo first quickly. So if I go to the SharePoint search, you can see here I have a new vertical Microsoft Learn module. So I can go ahead and say Azure, let's say Azure function. I wanted to search modules related to some Azure functions. So you can see here, this is bringing back the similar kind of results, the module name and etc. And if I can click on it, and it takes me to the actual the module of that, and you can see the more detail and stuff. So you can have a roles, show you the how long this course for, some ratings, and if I show you the actual Microsoft Learn page, this is exactly what is there happening here. So I'm just using the API, and that data is now available into my Microsoft 365 ecosystem. So now, how do we get to this? So this is what you see here. This is a adaptive card. So you can use any adaptive card. So I've used adaptive card to build this UI. So how do we get to this point? So let's go to code, and I'm also open the Microsoft Teams Admin Center as well. So I want to show you the specially option with the handling this in Microsoft Team Admin Center. So if I go to my Teams app, manage Teams app, and to quickly learn to 365 to no. Yeah, just give me a second. Let me just check the name of the app. App package. So I'll just get the name of that. My O365 MS Learn. So just grab this, Control C. So I should be able to search this. Yeah, there you go. So if I go in here and click on, so we have some, so I'll show you the permissions come from. So I'll go to the graph connectors. So it's going to go and try to, if the connection has been established, you can see you have now this connection status. So once you turn on the connection, it go and create a connection for you, ingest the data and ready to go. And if you switch it off, it will automatically go and delete the connector for you. And then data will not be available in your Microsoft 365. So you have a control on switch off button here. So how do we get to this place? So first of all, if I show you the quickly manifest file, so in here, the main thing is I have notification URL here and send the Azure AD app running behind the scene. So in here, I have this, my notification, my Azure function URL. So what happened here is when we switch this on, this endpoint get called. And this endpoint code is notification content. And what happened is, as soon as I switch on, I get these details. I get the the payload. I check the payload, like if it has a connector state, connector ID, connector ticket. Important when we do that. So we need to connect the tickets, and I'm checking the connector token here if it's valid or not. So and then after that, I'm passing this information into the queue and then sending this like you have to return the reply within 5 seconds, or there is some seconds that the connection has been, a request has been received and it's going to process, etc. But the key is the connector ID and the connector ticket. So I'm putting into another queue, which will be a connection, queue connection. Queue connection is checking if the action is create. Basically, the toggle is yes, we're going to create this one, is going to create a connection. And if you see here, if I go here, create a connection, and I'm passing the connection message. And if you see here, in part of this request, I'm passing this as the connector ID and connector ticket. And that way, once the connection has been made and data has been ingested, this guy get to know that, yes, everything is working, and I know that this connection has been made, data has been ingested, then it will be fully turned on. So otherwise, it will be in a processing state. So that is the key. So we have to pass the connector ticket in there so he can keep track of what happened with that connection. So if I go back to the connection, so once the connection has been made, so we're creating a connection, just simple using the connector API, then I'm creating the connection, creating schema. So if I go to the creating schema, I'll go to the ID, I go to this one, and then I go to implementation quickly. So I'm just making an API request. and passing these properties because I wanted to ingest these properties for my API: summary, level, roles, products, title, etc. So you can define your schema like that, and whether these properties are retrievable, and some probably might be, you could see the searchable, you can do query, define which one is a queryable, etc. So you can define your schema. So create a schema. So this is the queue connection is creating a schema, creating a connection and creating a schema, which we saw in the PowerPoint presentation. Once this is done, is adding a message again into the queue content, and that actually function is getting triggered, which is based on my is a queue triggered. So here is actually I'm ingesting the data. So if you see here, if the action is ingest, it's going to go and call this function ingest content, and here I'm calling this API catalog API service get all module detail. Once I've got all the modules, I mean, you can go and check the, if I go and quickly show you if there's a roughly, is simply I'm just calling API and going through the module and saving into the and returning the result back. There is no special things going on. So please check the code there is available in the app already. So I'm got the learn modules here, and then I'm going through each module and creating these items. So if I go to the create item implementation, so here's the thing. So for each item, we define the ID, we define the ACL, this is the permission, we define the properties, which property we wanted to expose. So when we have that kind of payload for each item, and then we pass to the Microsoft Graph Connector API, and then it basically go and create that. So when we create this, what happened? So I just want to show you what happened behind the scenes. So if I go to the search and intelligence page in Microsoft 365 Advanced Center, and you could see here, we have this is the connection name. And once everything is set up, so you can see here your data will be, you can see some sort of quota, how much, depending on how much quota you have used. So if I click on this one, so you can see the status, this connector has been done, data is a custom connector, how many item has been indexed, what is the item limit. Because it's a custom connector, so you have to have a crawl and schedule by yourself handle. In my case, I have a timer content, so it's running every day or something, then it's putting a message into the queue. So it's going and adjusting the latest data, it's getting the latest data and updating my existing connection. So that's what happened is behind the scene. You can go to customization and then go to source this one and probably add
quickly, Ejaz, we need to. We're running out of time.
Sorry.
We're 5 minutes already over time. So
cool. So yeah, so that's you can update your adaptive card here. So yeah, so that's all from me. If you have any question.